Hey guys, Mecha-san here with more series reaction to the motion manga Mobile Suit Gundam Seed Eclipse episode 4, the second part of this 4 division thing here. It's like, oh, well, this is getting complicated. This is getting a little too padded out here, but yeah, alright, so far the plan has hit a hiccup here because, well, Kiou, I forgot her name. Well, she's been captured. She's pretty much been found out to not be just a citizen here because she's got a weapon. And while the other guys are ready to save her, someone is watching them and looked like a Alliance mobile suit. And this is the part where I really hate here, not because of this one here, but because, well, timing Bandai. It's gonna be the AO Calamity Gundam. Why do I know this? Because they announced that they're making the AO Calamity Gundam on Bandai's Twitter, a Gunpla kit, before this episode was even released. So, spoilers much! Terrible timing, people, come on. Couldn't you have waited until this came out? Boy, so yeah. Without further ado, let's just watch this here. I'll talk about the said Gundam when time comes. I don't think we need the subtitles here, but he claims to be a tourist. We got Jin, one who carries something like this. Gulp, yeah. Everyone carries at least a handgun these days. Even my daughter has. Okay, so even my grandma has an assault rifle that she picked up somewhere. Really? Oh, the actual terrorists are the ones who kind of gave her a decent alibi because, yeah, actually that does make sense. And this is the world of Gundam we're talking about, the multiverse of Gundam. So everyone has a gun these days. Been used. Even so, I'll take this for now. Damn. Yeah, you could say that. Labor Union. The port of Singapore Labor Union. Labor Union. After okay, Malaysia, Singapore, the Earth Alliance, Earth Alliance, Omni. After establishing virtual control of the United Earth during the last war, the Federation used wartime operations as an excuse to carry out aggressive diplomacy under the threat of its massive gunboat diplomacy. Their action extended to the nations of the Equatorial Union, including Singapore. Singapore had developed to a point of extremely important for marine transport across the world, but the Federation allowed them to take total control of all ship movement in the Singapore Strait. For a non-Federation ship to pass through, they would have a ridiculous search. Oh boy. It even applied to ships from the Equatorial Union. That's not something the Atlantic Federation would do. Who could? Yeah, exactly. Gunboat diplomacy. That just shows how the Atlantic Federation is here. It's like they are truly the bad guys here. The people point out to ZAS and all their shit they've done here, but no, let's face it. If the Atlantic Federation, it's always gonna be they're the big bad of this world here. It's not. So I like that inverse. So yeah, that natural inverse here carrying out sort of shows that. Yeah, like again, C was supposed to be a modernized retelling, if you will, of the OG plot Gundam with some obvious changes here. Like, yeah, we have, instead of just Earth mode, space mode, we have people who gone through genetic engineering, stuff like that. But we also see how, well, in OG Gundam, it was pretty clear cut that Zeon were bad guys. Not only because of the fascist route here, but all the things they've done, from like even breaking the Atlantic Treaty here and the ban of using nukes. Even before that here, like they gassed whole colonies, dropped the colony on the Earth, and then like they're the ones who used nukes to destroy all of what was the name of the side here that at Loom, at the Battle of Loom here, they destroyed the entire cluster of colonies there. And even after the Atlantic Treaty was signed, that bans nukes, they still went off here. It's like in the original series here. I don't know if it's actually considered canon anymore because it wasn't done in the movies here. But Makuve tried to use a nuke when he ran when Zeon was running from the Battle of Odessa back to space. There was that in 0080. They were like Zeon had orders if they couldn't destroy the Gundam Alex, they would use nukes and destroy the colony. And I think another time when they tried to use a nuke, I forgot when exactly, but yeah. So it was quite clear that Zeon is a bad guy in that series. Even though they showed that not all Zeon guys were bad here, the overall with the zombies, they were terrible, and the Federation were like the good guys. It wasn't until more materials came out that it showed that the Federation, while technically morally superior to Zeon, they were not white. They were not white, sparky clean. Here, it's like it shows that Zaft and the plant, they're not perfect by no means. Like they're understandable. It's like in the end, the Atlantic Federation, they're the bad guys here. They're the Zeon in this regard. They would have liberated us to your country. Obey or oppose and die. If we had fought back, they would have liberated us like they did to your. Oh boy, I like that. So I don't know if they mentioned this, and I forgot, but if they brought this up here, but is that how they're selling it? They try to sell it like. Because, keep in mind, Orb was a country neutral that had a number of coordinators living there. It's like they were treated equal citizens, doesn't matter. They didn't. But then the Atlantic Federation came in and. So what? Is this how they sold it to the public here? Like, we're liberating Orb from the vile, unnatural grip of the coordinators? But not everyone can lead a proud life, yeah. They continue to dominate passage through the strait. An unprecedented recession. We aren't even able to feed our own children. Yeah, exactly. Tried those steps long ago? Exactly. Yeah, you think? These, like, you see some of the weapons here, but they've asked, even plead for help, probably with tears in their eyes. But every attempt was crushed immediately. They've covered things up so that their pleas never existed at all. Yeah, these guys here, it's quite clear they're not terrorists. They don't want to do this. They don't really want to do this, but they are given no other choice because they've tried. Like she said, they've tried everything. They tried all that. And, well, either the government or the Atlantic Federation, they covered all that up here, so here we are. As such, we got no trouble. So as such, they when all else fails, resort to violence. That's how it is here. That's people always say, oh, sure, like, yeah, people will say armed revolution should be armed revolution should be the last thing. That is exactly, this is the last option here. When all other alternatives will never happen here. When there have been proof that the more peaceful approach gets you nothing. It's time for armed revolution. This is also like in a way what Celestial Being from Double O does here. It's like, yeah, you guys, like, remember when Setsuna first met the Queen or Princess Mari, what, from Azaristan, whatever? It's like how she condemns Celestial Being about all this here, but Setsuna just tells her, like, hey, look, while you guys talk, people still die and nothing's accomplished. All right? So you talk, people die, you talk fail, people still die. So guess what? Time for this here. It's like, if words will not end war and bloodshed, then time for war. Then why not have war end war? You can say it's a hypocrisy. But the world can be one massive hypocrisy as well here. So if it takes a form of hypocrisy to do good, so be it. At least Celestial Being doesn't hide it, for the most part. Yeah, exactly. It's like, that's why they have there's no other action to take. You got nothing. You got nothing. Now you see why these terrorists exist here. It's like, can you really blame them? Even though they're clearly being used here to stem more hate for Zaf and plants. Look, these guys are good people. They're people who just want. The times we live in are too rotten for anything else. Oh, I love that. I love that line. But right now, the times we live in are too rotten for anything else. That line alone really sells it all here. And you really see what these people are going through. So in a way, it just shows how bad things are here. To the point where, again, like one of those guys here, his daughter's carrying a gun. Another one, his grandma got an assault rifle that she picked up from who knows where. That's how bad things gotten, to the point where it's not unusual for kids and seniors to have weapons for self-defense. That's how bad things have gotten, and that things still are in the post bloody Valentine War. That's just the first war, people. The treaty's been signed and everything like that, but still bad. Plus, I have a dependable ally of my own. Okay, there's the Eclipse. And this is Kiou, modified with some lookout parts. I've been given boosters for simultaneous deployment, and yet I still can barely keep up. The Gundam would expect. Near maximum speed, yeah. It's a Gundam determined mobile armor mode. Uh-oh. No, it's a Goo. No, it's not. Zaku. A new model? Yeah, it's Zaku, alright. Wait, you mean it didn't even appear here? The Ale Calamity didn't appear here? And yet, oh boy, why, oh why, oh why? But yeah, it's a Zaku. Yeah, this is a Zaku. Although I'm assuming it's a much more early version of Zaku Warrior here, because this one doesn't even have the shield shoulder. But yeah, we see him with a standard Zaf issue with Bosu Bazooka there, and we even got the Jin assault rifle, and the sword to pick up whenever. So, dependable ally. Okay. So yeah, this is I really enjoy this episode. This episode was one of my favorite, even though there was no real mobile suit action. That wasn't the point. The point was to show just how bad things are here and how these people, even though even they admit they're kind of being begrudgingly so, they are being terrorists here. At least some people would call them that. You understand why they're resorting to this, because they can't, because of the Atlantic Federation, they can't make a living in their own country. It's like that their lives have been completely ruined here. They can't even support their children here. Though the incredible charges just to pass through the strait, the seas, which have been there for generations before the Atlantic Federation came in, it shows how bad the Atlantic Federation is. Is here, and the crime rate is so high here that, like, what kind of civilian carries a gun? It's like, everyone carries a gun these days. Everyone carries around a gun these days. Yeah, like, the terrorists find, oh, you're carrying a gun? Okay, I get you, but I get you need, it's like, they came up, they pretty much give Kiou unintentionally a legitimate reason why she carries a gun. Not just a legitimate, it's like, at this point, it's obvious she needs to carry a gun. It's like, this town suffers from high crime. Your daughter has one? Like, how old is your daughter? Like, in your teens or early, something like that? But even this guy's grandmother, an assault rifle. And we see over here, like, I like this one here. This is a 4-barreled. I forgot what the name of this kind of gun, this kind of handgun is with the 4 barrels here, but yeah, she has never used that thing before. But yeah, and soon we go to these guys' dilemma. These guys are a labor union. Essentially, these guys are workers who are cheated by the government. Yeah, the established control, they took over, and it was similar to what. And this part right here, it's like, if we fought back, they would have liberated us like they did Orb. Your country, Orb. So obey or oppose and die. They had no choice but to obey, which makes me wonder, after they obeyed, how many were suffered or executed because coordinators or apologists, that kind of thing here. Because let's face it, if the Atlantic Federation, if the Orb did obey, the Atlantic Federation just let them have their country, you know for a fact that a number of coordinators, every coordinator would probably be rounded up and executed. Because that's how they are here, especially with Murutai Azrael in Blue Cosmos leading the charge. So yeah. And here we go with Kino, whatever. Like, is there no other way? It's like, I think she legitimately feels for these guys here. It's like, you gotta wonder, is she really acting, or is she really feeling what these guys is, because she did not expect these people to be like that here. So far, as we saw last episode, these guys, like, she had to really work to get these guys to catch her. And now she's hearing their plea, their side of the story here, realizing that, yeah, these guys are not really bloodthirsty terrorists. They're a bunch of disgruntled workers that, because of the government, Atlantic Federation, they lost everything. They can't even support their own families anymore. And things are so bad in Singapore. They're like, yeah, high crime and everything like that. The Atlantic Federation the Atlantic Federation still has their grips on things here, making it impossible in this post-war period. Yeah, and yeah, you could appeal to your nation's government. She's getting at all the other things they could have done. It's like, you think they didn't do this before? You think they didn't? And even she was like she was frustrated with what she was saying. Has it ever occurred to you these people have already tried those steps long ago? Yeah. Has it ever occurred to you that? Have you tried? In fact, if you try looking at stuff, probably not because they did a good job at erasing all this. But yeah, everything you're saying, tried, failed, every turn. Every turn, it was hidden away. Yeah, they prostitute themselves. It's like, so it really shows just how little you know, how you are naive, you are you are uninformed, you know jack squat. Orbit's doing great right down here. Yeah, they got their homeworld back here because of saving the patents to various technologies and pieces of software like the natural OS, which is superior to Earth Alliance OS here. They quickly rebuild their economy and everything, and they're doing great. But not the same here. It's sort of like when kings, other countries, like they don't know what the issue is here because they are not experiencing it. And you could say, boy, how do I put this? Well, I don't know how to best to put this here, but it's like you live in high society. It's like if someone from West Germany back then, when Germany was divided post-war, goes into East Germany and sees how it is here, it's like, oh wow, why have you guys done anything at all about this? It's like the people will be like, you think we haven't? And yeah, you don't know what it's like to live here, okay? So yeah, this just shows Orb really has no idea. She has no idea. You knew nothing here. All they cared about is stopping these terrorist acts here, obtaining weapons, and trying to keep another war from happening. But they don't understand why people are actually want conflict at this point here. In this case, it's understandable. Like, these people have no other choice. There's no other choice there's no other thing that they can. Yeah, exactly. All words, all non-violent means have failed. Nothing is happening. Nothing's changing. Nothing's getting better. It's getting worse from what's described here. So when pen fails, you take up weapons, take up guns and shit. I'm sorry. Like, yeah, what she says is nice. I mean, yeah, you could say she's probably, yeah. I said, forget, you're probably in the right. Yeah, she's probably in the right here, but that reasoning doesn't matter because it doesn't matter if she's in the right if it can't be applied in an area. It's like, okay, yeah, you're probably in the right anyway. Yeah, you're in the right here, but that way of thinking does not work here. It's the right thing to do is one thing. It's the right thing to do, but when you try the right thing and it doesn't work, other options, you use other options. I'm sorry. It's like we always say, we teachers, parents, everything always go about, you should always do the right thing. But what happens when the right thing doesn't work? Like fails, gets nothing done, changes, doesn't do anything. What the right thing makes it worse? The right thing, the right way of doing things doesn't always apply. Sometimes you gotta do what is morally questionable to get any good progress done. Because that's life. That's reality. It doesn't reality, the universe, it really doesn't care. It doesn't give a shit of what humans and other little people think, like, believe is morally right here. It's like, I don't care. You get, like, why would it care? Why? No, sorry. So yeah, very good painting the colors here and everything. How it's no way black and white here. It's far more gray. That's the thing that these side materials always do. Paint all sides in a shades of gray here. Orb has become far more. They're not bad. Not they become a bit more on a negative side here because of how out of touch they are with the plight of the people. The plight of the people from other nations. Like, yeah, your people are doing good here. Other countries, not so much. And yeah, this is after the treaty was signed and everything like that. And yeah, things are still bad. So everyone, thank you for watching. As always, comment below what you all thought. Like, subscribe for more videos. Till next one, this is Mecha-san, logging out.